Hi, this is Bill. And on this video, I will show you how to add interactive filters in ServiceNow App Dashboard. By the end of this video, you will understand how interactive filters work inside the ServiceNow App Dashboard, why they behave the way they do, and how to design filters that scale across multiple reports without breaking performance or usability. This video is for ServiceNow admins, developers, and solutions architects who are building application dashboards, performance analytics dashboards, or executive views and want those dashboards to actually support decision making. And in this approach, I'd like to show you a top to bottom and a bottom up approach. Let us start with top to bottom. One of the common tricks that I do as you follow along on my previous videos is to start on a template. As we scroll down, we have navigated to the application menu, then navigate to the dashboards, and let us go to one of the out of the box dashboards, which is change request. And now as we drill down, since this is a dashboard which comes from a ServiceNow implementation, you will not be able to edit. But the main significance of this dashboard view is you already have out of the box filters. And if you want to achieve something in ServiceNow, I like you to start on what's already there or a template. And eventually, this has 4 filters as you see. It has assignment group, priority, type, and so on. Now, to be able to edit, the first step to experiment and to learn how this interactive filters work is to duplicate the dashboard. And let us duplicate. And eventually, it has duplicating error notification. But as we navigate back and do a refresh, it should have successfully created a dashboard copy as we have basically instructed it. So let us rename it to change. And now we have the change request copy, and let's drill down. And let us now go to edit mode. And from here, we have access to the different filters. And as you can see, everything in an application perspective will fall into a type. And if you navigate to the right, it's type filter. And this type filter will have attributes assigned to it or properties that you can already utilize that is provided by ServiceNow. And let us explore more. So as we open, the filter type has 4 capabilities. So we have single, multiple, and so on. So at this point, you already have an example on a multiple select. So let us try the other. So this is also multiple select, and right now, also multiple select. So let us do something different, and let us make this smaller to add some space. And let's add new element since this type filter. So let us drill down and create a new one. And you can see that it has automatically appeared in the lower left. And let us move it to the top right. And let us try a date. And now it's filter type date. And let us move to the filter label and name it like created or when created. So let us press enter. And automatically it has changed the label. And now, since it has a filter and this dashboard is specifically running on a change underscore request table, then we need to add a data filter. So let us now drill down. As you can see that it is bringing us to the tables, and you should know the table that you're trying to filter. So this is change underscore request, and this is the table that we're looking for. And as you can see, it's quite straightforward. It's asking us a filter specific to this table. And let us drill down and do a search and when it was created. So let us do that. And it's quite straightforward. And let's click apply. Now we have successfully created a filter under the change request table specific when it was created. And the filter type is date. And let us save this one. And let's configure more. And as you can see, as we click this context menu, let us add it to the filters library. So I'll show you why. So the library is a reusable place or a place where you put your filters, a central place for reusability. And as part of best practices, we fully recommend to create reusable components. So as you create multiple dashboards, then this is something you can reuse as you build more reports, dashboards, and filters. So the naming convention has to reference correctly since you are pointing it to a table of change request, type filter, and I'm naming it under my name for AC navigation. But as you create production implementation, the naming convention has to be correct. So let us now add this to the library and let's save it. So what we did is we created a filter and added to the filter library, which you will see in a bit. And the label is different. So you have the label, which is created, which is type date. And now the name that we just did, which we created under the filter library, which is the name of the filter, but not the label. So let us now exit the editing mode. And now we can filter out based on date type filter. So out of the box, you will have these features already. And from there, you can fully utilize the filter object. Now I made it smaller for visibility. As we click apply, then it will apply the necessary filters. If you find value on my video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and join as a member to get more videos like this. And I would like you to have a mental model. I want you to keep throughout this video. The reports contain logic, and I have created a full playlist that you'll find at the end of this video about reports. And now we're discussing filters that provide context. A common mistake is pushing contextual decisions into the report itself. So that locks the report to one perspective. Interactive filters sits above the reports and allow the same logic to be reused across many contexts. And I want you to remember this distinction. And as you learn the filter widget from top to bottom, and let us now type filter. And the filter that we're looking for should be under platform analytics. So as you find this module, these filters, and you will find the filter that we added from the dashboard. So now we can create a top to bottom, a bottom up filter, and you will see the few examples that was already associated with the change dashboard. And you can find more examples here. And this is what's brilliant in ServiceNow. As you install modules and workflows, and with your personal developer instance, you will have demo data. And as a developer or a dashboard developer, it will help you get mature in a shortest period of time. Now, I'll give you the liberty to drill down on these different types of filters. And if you haven't done so on creating a developer instance, this will be your one-stop library where you can make mistakes, break things before you go to your dev environment, which is being run by your company. So I'll put a specific video that you'll find at the end of the screen. Now, as we move to the top right, let us create a new one. So you will see the experience is the same. And this is the object. So let us type in. So let's do change. So let's make sure that's typed correctly. Change space request. Then let's say created by. So now we will go specific to a person. Then I'll put name Bill that because this is what I created. And by creating the pen icon, it will go back to its own. And now the object is type filter. And let us now choose a single select. So the example we have shown is you have a multiple select earlier, and now you have the dates that we previously created from top to bottom. Now let's go to single select. And let's go straight to the data source. And the table will be change underscore request. So you need to have a full familiarity of the tables and its fields to give you a full picture as you create based on the requirements of your given dashboard. So now let us go to filters and let's go like search created by, and let us use assign to instead. since this is also a person. And as we click apply, you will see here that you have the table source, which is type user, and change request assigned to. So let us now rectify this one and change it to assigned to. Now let us navigate back. And one of the key things that I'd like you to consider is as you learn the properties or attributes of this type filter, and to be able to familiarize, you need to get your hands dirty and make mistakes, test it to ensure that you get to learn how it works. And from there, it will make your life easier as you practice in creating dashboards and reports. So, as we create the right table and the filter, this is the most important design decision. And this is foundational across most reports in the dashboard. It represents a business object, not a technical artifact. And as you create dashboard reports, you may be coming from a custom table or something out of the box. So now let us go back to the dashboard. So as we have created the filter successfully, and let us navigate back to change request copy. And let's ensure that we go to the edit mode. Let's add a new element, which is type filter. And this is a save filter on this aspect. And let us find with the name Bill. And this is what we just created. And let's add to the dashboard. And now easily we can navigate or drag it to the top right and save it. And as we basically move to the exit existing modes, but before we do that, let us change the filter label since we forgot to do it earlier where we're building the filter itself. So as we click on the top and click save, and let's ensure it's also saved in the library. And let us now exit the editing mode. And we should have the ability to filter out based on who it was assigned to. Now, interactive filters are not a cosmetic feature. They're a core architectural tool for scaling dashboards without duplicating logic. When designed correctly, they turn dashboards into living systems instead of static reports. Subscribe and join as a member for more ServiceNow platform deep dives, architecture walkthroughs, and real world implementation lessons. How are you currently using interactive filters in your dashboards? And where have you seen them fail in real implementations?